Okay, so we're going to rapidly develop a Canvas course using what I call a course skeleton. Okay, so I've got my online course planning template document open and I've filled it out already. So up here in the course plan, I put the title of the course. For the purpose of this training, we're going to be looking at a 4-week-long culinary arts course that specifically deals with making fajitas. So my main course objective is going to be host a fajita dinner. What I've done in my sub-objectives is I've defined all the things that are going to factor into me being able to complete the main course objective. Okay, so like buying ingredients and cooking and marinating and the food service and all that. So now I move down to my table. And in my table, I put in my 4 weeks, and then I put in 4 units. Now, in my case, the units aren't going to matter so much. I put it here more for the sake of demonstration. Your units for your class may look something like you've got 1 unit that spans 2 weeks, or maybe you have 1 unit that only spans half a week. Okay, so you're going to want that column to reflect that information. Now in the objectives, I've got my course documents, recipes. All these objectives are coming from my sub-objectives up here. And then my readings, all the reading is going to be done online. Now if I had a book or something like that, I might actually put in chapters or page numbers right here. Next over is all my assessments. What am I going to assess so that I know that they're able to complete these sub-objectives? And then next column is the files. These are going to be the files that I need to upload. So they might be Word documents or PDFs or something like that. My content pages, these are going to be the pages I'm going to build, and that's going to serve the content to the student. And then the external links, these are going to be the external links to different websites and stuff like that. Right now, I'm not going to use this column, so I just put none at the moment. So let's go ahead and jump right into Canvas. Okay, so here we are on our start page for our Canvas course. The first thing I like to do is I like to pare down my navigation. So I'm going to come into Settings, and then I'm going to click on Navigation. I'm actually going to get rid of everything besides Home and Modules. Now we can't get rid of Home, so it's obviously going to stay, but I'm going to just pare this down quite a lot here. So what we do is I just drag these down and drop them in here. And one thing I like to do is I like to make sure they stay in alphabetical order even when disabled. The reason why is our course navigation menu on here on the left, it's going to be affected by the order that these disabled items are in. And so it's really important that we kind of make sure we do some good housekeeping even with stuff that the students will never see, because it'll help us as instructors. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to finish this real quick. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to click on Save, which is a little off screen here. It's just on the bottom there. So I click Save. And notice now my course navigation menu has changed. I've got Home and Modules, and then everything after that is roughly in alphabetical order. Let's go back home real quick. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to talk about modules and how I build the modules. So we're going to click on Modules here. And I need to refer to my online course planning template to figure out exactly which modules I want. Okay, so I'm looking at my objectives. And so I've got course documents, recipes, all this stuff here. I need to think about something that might encompass these different things. Now, course documents and recipes are markedly different, obviously. And so I'm probably going to want to make a module for each one of those. But some of these other things like ingredients, beverages have ingredients, spices have it is an ingredient technically, and the sides and the meat, I think it would fit nicely under the title of ingredients. Cooking is pretty well standalone here. It's the only objective I've identified for that week. And then serving, utensils, and the location where we're going to serve this and all that, I think that would fit pretty nicely under serving. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Canvas, and I'm going to create a new module. Okay, so I'm going to do a Start Here module. These are always good for the catch-all for the beginning of course documents and stuff like that. So I'm going to add the module. And then I'm going to do another module. And we're going to make this one recipes. Add another one. See ingredients. Next one will be cooking. There we go. And then finally, let's see, serving. Now notice, I'm not worrying about any of these prerequisites or any requirements or anything like that. I'm just simply putting a title and then doing add module. So I've got all 5. So the first week is going to be start here in recipes. That's going to be week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Now certainly I could name them by week if I chose to do that. I could also tag that on there. The one thing that you really want to avoid doing is putting a date on your modules or really on your pages, those kinds of things. Because what happens is when I go to copy this course for the next session, next semester that it's going to be offered, I'm going to have to go in and change all those dates manually rather than have Canvas do it for me. So things like due dates and from and until dates are things Canvas can change for me automatically. And that's how I want to do it. That'll save me a lot of work. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is I'm going to build assessments. I'm going to click on assignments first. And I'm going to refer back to my course planning document. So I've got this assessment here, which is submit a recipe. And I've got demonstration video of ingredient prep skills via discussion board. So that's going to be a discussion board. I've got a cooking quiz. I want that to be a quiz. And then I have one more assignment. So right now I need to build 2 assignments. So the first one, click on the plus sign for add assignment. And let's see. I'm going to do choose a recipe. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start building my assignments. And so when I look at my document here, I can see that I need to do submit a recipe, I need to do a discussion board, I need to do a quiz, and I need to do another assignment. So submit a recipe is going to be an assignment, and then also the video, kind of like the final video if you will, that's also going to be an assignment as well. I'm going to come into Canvas and then click on assignments. So I've got 2 assignments that I'm going to create. Okay, so I'm going to click the plus sign here. And see, I'm going to do fajita recipe. I'm not going to worry about any of its settings at this point. And click save. Okay, now that's been saved. So I'm going to go back to assignments. I'm going to add my next assignment. So this assignment is going to be the video of the fajita dinner. Once again, just come right here at the bottom, click save. Okay, so it's been saved. And now let's look at the document. I need a discussion. So this is going to be ingredient prep skills. So I'm going to click on discussions. And I'm going to add a discussion. It's going to be ingredient prep skills. And I'm going to save that. And then the last one is going to be a quiz. So I'm going to go to quizzes. And let's check out the title here. So this is just going to be a cooking quiz. Okay, there's cooking quiz, save that. Great. So now I've got all of my different assessments that I had planned out having created in Canvas. All right, so now I want to go and start building my pages. So I'm going to click on pages. Let's look at the course planning document here. I have all these content pages that I've outlined as being important. So I'm going to do the welcome and instructor contact. So come to pages and I'm going to just do welcome. Save that. Okay, back to pages. Save that. So I'm going to spare you having to watch me build all these pages, but I think you get the idea. We're just going to click plus page and we're going to build all the pages that we've outlined in our document here. Now that I've built all my pages, I want to make sure everything's published. So I'm going to go ahead and just take these guys out of draft state. Okay, everything's published. Now, if you're worried about publishing in Canvas, it's not that big of a deal. Students are only going to be able to access stuff based upon the settings that you've given it. Okay, certainly having something unpublished is going to prevent students from seeing it, but oftentimes it's important to have something published because you may or may not be able to link to it in Canvas if it's not. So I like to just go ahead and publish everything. So it's all published right now, and the next thing I'm going to do is go back to my modules. We've built everything that's going to feed into these modules. We want to think about building overview pages. So I'm going to build a Start Here overview page. So I'm going to click the plus sign on the module itself. And I want to do a new content page. And I'm going to call this Start Here Overview. It's important that we don't just call this overview, because if I have an overview page for each one of my modules, Canvas is going to get a little confused and start assigning numbers to them that I don't necessarily want. So make sure you put in a unique title for each one, and then I'm going to do add item. So notice it put my Start Here overview page directly into my module, and I'm going to click that. And now what I'm going to do is just type in some basics. So I'm going to say welcome students. And, you know, we could keep typing here. I'm going to avoid that. So after I've typed some type of a welcome message, I'm going to add a numbered list here. And so right here, I've clicked that. Now, the reason why I like to do a numbered list is I like to give students an order for which I want them to do things in. Okay. The other nice thing about giving them an ordered list in an overview page is the fact I can give them some small instructions telling them what I want to do with the content. For instance, in the modules, we certainly could add our assignments directly in there and add quizzes and discussions and pages and all that. The only issue with doing that is that students aren't going to be able to just guess sometimes at how you want them to do that stuff or what to do with it. You know, for instance, if I put a link to a web page or something, they may or may not understand what they're supposed to do with it. So in order to help the student understand exactly how I want them to interact with my course on a week-to-week basis, I like to put these overview pages in. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, all right, check out the Start Here page. And here's one style of linking that I'm going to show you. So I want them to check out the Start Here page. So in my menu on the right hand side, I'm going to go to Pages, which is already up here. Okay, so notice how I can click on these. So Pages is up. And then here's my Start Here. So I'm going to just click it. Notice it went ahead and put in Start Here. And that's a valid link. I can tell what all is included in the link when I've clicked that because that yellow box lets me know. Okay, so I've got them on the Start Here page. Now, or rather, let's just do View, the course guide, and syllabus. So here's a different style that we can do. If we don't necessarily want to put it at the end like that, because this one's a little redundant where it says check out the Start Here page and then we do Start Here. One thing I can do is I can highlight something and then I can go into my files. In this case, I need to upload my file, so I'm going to click Upload a New File. And I'm going to choose the course guide. And I'm going to leave it in course files and do Upload. And same thing for the syllabus. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upload the file. And I'll show you if we already have the files loaded, how that looks as well. So I'm going to choose a file and I'm do the syllabus here and then do upload. Now it's probably going to, it adds it to the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that out really quick because I want syllabus to be my link. So I highlight syllabus and then I just simply click it there. And now I have those. And so I think you get the idea right now how these overview pages work. And so I'm just going to save this guy real quick. And my Start Here overview is done. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to add content to a normal module. I call it normal because our Start Here module is kind of unique. Our recipes module is also going to include assessment in it. So I'm click the plus sign, and we're going to add a content page. It's going to be a new page. We're going to do recipes overview. There we go. Add that item. Okay, now we're going to edit that. And so right here, I'm going to just type in brief instructions. Go here. Okay. So just going to give them an overview of what we're looking at for this recipes module. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my items in that I want them to interact with. So I like to use the numbered list. Number list, again, is really important because one, we're given a chronological order to do things in. And then the second thing is, as an instructor, maybe the next session or semester that I teach this class, I decide that certain items need to have their order changed. If I let Canvas do the numbering for me, once I move those items around, it's going to automatically renumber them for me. That way I don't have to go in and change a whole bunch of numbers. And the first thing I want them to do is check out the recipe page. Okay, and so I'm going to go into Wiki Pages, and there we go, there's recipes. So I'm going to click that. So now I've got a link for that. Second thing I want them to do is I want them to just jump right into the assignment. So complete this assignment. Okay, so I'm going to click on assignments here, and fajita recipe is what I want them to do, and that's it. So that's all I'm gonna have in my overview page. Just something nice and simple. One thing that you can do if you find that maybe you have a bunch of resources and you can't really figure out the best place to put it, I like to separate things. So these first two items here are going to be things that are kind of like requirements for the students to do. Now, if I have something that maybe I want the students to go check out online or just something extra for them to practice, I can put, like, say, resources. Oops. And then I'll do another numbered list, and I'll just simply put check out these websites, whatever my resources might happen to be, and I can do that. That way the students know that, okay, so I've got, these are the things I have to do. These are resources, or I could even call it extra practice. Just kind of whatever fits your course. I'm going to go ahead and just leave my extra practice there and save this. So right there, what have I done? I've given my students an overview, give them some just small instructions, like there's a lot of different recipes and cooking styles for fajitas, and so we're going to take a look at those right here. So check out the recipe page, and so they click this page, and then that'll take them to content that I provide them, maybe YouTube links or some stuff I've written. And then I want them to complete the assignment. So they understand what their action items are. And then for the extra practice, they can just go out and look at this other content. We're going to do the same for all the rest of these. We're going to add our overview pages, and then using the planning template, we're going to add our content pages and our assessments and everything else that we've already built. All this will have items in it. We'll be pretty much ready to start going into the actual pages themselves and adding our course content to them, going to our assessments and our quizzes, and adding the point values and due dates and all that stuff. But this right here allows us to basically build the skeleton of our course and get started from good footing.